In forests where leaves never stop whispering and shadows stretch endlessly beneath the canopy, danger rarely announces itself. Life moves quietly here, measured not in sound, but in instinct. Every step, every breath, every pause carries meaning. And somewhere within this living maze, an unseen force is already awake. The jungle appears calm, almost peaceful. But calm in the wild is often just the moment before everything changes. Hidden within the dense forests of South Asia moves a predator shaped by patience. The Bengal tiger is not merely an animal of strength. It is a master of restraint, a creature whose power lies as much in waiting as it does in striking. Its presence is rarely felt until it is too late. Orange fur marked with dark flowing stripes blends seamlessly with shafts of filtered sunlight. This is not decoration. It is design. A natural disguise refined by generations of survival. When the tiger moves, the forest itself seems to move with it, concealing each step beneath layers of shadow and foliage. An adult tiger can stretch more than 3 meters from nose to tail and weigh well over 300 kilograms. Muscle coils beneath its skin built not for endurance, but for explosive precision. Yet despite its size, it advances without urgency. Speed is reserved for only one moment, the moment that matters. Nearby, a deer feeds among wet grasses, unaware that the distance between life and death has narrowed to just a few silent steps. The tiger does not rush. It studies. It listens. It waits. Every movement is calculated, every pause deliberate. Then, without warning, the stillness collapses. From the cover of vegetation, the tiger launches forward in a blur of motion, reaching speeds that leave no time for escape. The chase is brief. The outcome is final. In the wild, hesitation is costly, and mercy does not exist. Yet even victory comes with a price. A single hunt demands enormous energy. A failed attempt could mean hunger lasting days, sometimes longer. For the tiger's survival is not guaranteed by strength alone. It depends on precision, timing, and restraint. Beyond the hunt, the Bengal tiger is also a ruler of space. A fully grown male may command a territory spanning dozens of square kilometers, a domain, maintained not by constant conflict, but by silent warnings. Scent marks on trees, deep claw scratches carved into bark. These are messages left without sound, but understood by all who pass through. This land is claimed. Cross the line and consequences follow. When another male dares to ignore these warnings, the forest bears witness to violence without compromise. There is no negotiation, no display for dominance alone. Such encounters are brief, brutal, and decisive. The echoes of roars ripple through the trees, then fade, leaving only one presence behind. But the tiger's story is not defined solely by conflict. Behind the image of a solitary predator lies another reality, that of a silent guardian. Deep within the jungle, far from open trails, a tigress moves with unmatched caution. Her steps are lighter now, her senses sharper. She is no longer hunting only for herself. Life depends on her silence. She navigates thick undergrowth without leaving a trace, shielding fragile cubs from a world that offers no forgiveness. In these moments, the forest becomes both shelter and threat, and every sound carries risk. Once again, the hunt begins. This time, a wild boar searches for food beneath the dim light filtering through leaves overhead. The scene feels tranquil, too tranquil. Unaware of the shadow closing in, the animal lowers its guard, and that is enough. No reckless movement, no wasted sound. The tiger advances like a presence without form. When the strike comes, it is instantaneous. One decisive motion, control without excess. There is no roar, no display. The predator exhales slowly, eyes cold and focused as the jungle returns to silence. Here in this ancient landscape governed by instinct alone, silence is not emptiness. It is the most powerful weapon of all. And tonight it belongs to the tiger, Beneath their shifting surfaces lies a world where patience decides survival. Here danger does not chase, it waits. And in the slow-moving waters of Africa, one predator has perfected the art of stillness. The Nile crocodile does not hunt with speed, it hunts with time. Along muddy riverbanks, its massive body disappears beneath the surface, leaving only a pair of eyes exposed. Unblinking, motionless. From a distance it appears lifeless, another shape carved from stone and silt. But beneath the waterline, power coils tightly restrained by instinct rather than muscle. Its armor-like skin blends seamlessly with drifting vegetation and shadowed currents. Even up close, it is easy to mistake the crocodile for part of the river itself. This illusion is its greatest weapon. Hours pass, sometimes days. The crocodile does not move. Across the plains, a herd of zebras approaches the river's edge. The journey has been long. Thirst presses harder with every step. The water ahead promises relief, but instinct whispers caution. The leaders hesitate, ears flicking, eyes scanning the surface for signs that never come. Behind them, the herd closes in. Pressure builds. The choice is no longer whether to cross, but when. With a sudden splash, the first zebra steps forward, breaking the fragile silence. The rest follow, hooves churning water into chaos as black and white bodies surge into the river. The surface ripples violently, masking what waits below. Then the river moves, a single disturbance. A sudden pull. No warning sound. No visible struggle. One zebra vanishes beneath the surface, as if swallowed by the water itself. The moment is brief, almost unreal, and then silence returns. The river smooths over, erasing all signs of the attack. Those who remain alive swim desperately toward the far bank, driven not by courage, but by panic. None look back. In the wild, looking back changes nothing. Below the surface, the crocodile completes its work unseen. Here victory is quiet. The Nile crocodile does not roar. It does not chase across open ground. It relies on the one environment where its strength becomes absolute: the water. In this domain, speed is irrelevant. Control is everything. The river continues to flow indifferent to what it has taken. In the wild, survival is not always loud. Sometimes it slips beneath the surface and disappears without a trace. And in these waters, patience remains the deadliest force of all. Some unfold only when territories overlap, when land and water briefly become the same arena. In these rare moments, the rules of survival blur, and even the most specialized hunters are forced to adapt. Far from the open plains near the edges of slow-moving rivers, another predator moves with cautious confidence. The cheetah is built for speed, for pursuit across solid ground where acceleration decides everything. But here, beside dark water and unstable mud, speed alone offers no guarantees. Moonlight spills faintly across the river's surface. The cheetah advances step by measured step, its slender frame barely disturbing the grass beneath its paws. Muscles flex quietly. A long tail curves behind, acting as both balance and control. Unlike many land predators, the cheetah does not always retreat from water. It watches. It studies ripples, traces in the mud, subtle disturbances invisible to less attentive eyes. The river is dangerous, but danger is not unfamiliar. Nearby, a young crocodile rests close to the shoreline, absorbing warmth from the fading heat of the day. It appears calm, vulnerable, yet still armed with instincts shaped by generations of ambush. For a moment, neither moves. This is not a chase. It is a calculation. The cheetah shifts forward, testing distance. The crocodile remains still, its body partially submerged, unreadable. In these seconds, both predators sense uncertainty, not fear, but awareness. Each understands that this encounter does not favor either completely. Then the tension breaks. In a sudden burst of motion, the cheetah lunges, aiming not for dominance, but control. The movement is fast, decisive, and risky. Dust and water erupt as both bodies collide near the river's edge. The struggle is brief, violent, chaotic, and difficult to read. This is not a clean hunt. There is no elegance here, only instinct colliding with instinct. Moments later, the cheetah withdraws, pulling away towards solid ground. The crocodile slips back into the river, disappearing beneath the surface once more. Neither pursues. No clear victor remains, only survival. Encounters like this rarely end in certainty. In the wild, strength alone does not decide outcomes. Environment, timing, and restraint shape every result. What matters most is not victory, but knowing when to disengage. As the river settles and the night deepens, both predators vanish into their respective domains. Land and water reclaim their boundaries, as if nothing had happened at all. But the memory remains. In nature, not every confrontation ends in death. Some exist only as reminders that even the most powerful hunters must respect the limits of their world. Some exist as absence felt rather than seen. In the deep forests of North America, where sunlight rarely reaches the ground and shadows stretch endlessly between trunks, one hunter moves without a sound. The puma. It does not roar like the African lion. It does not rely on sheer size or intimidation. Yet few predators inspire more caution within their territory, also known as the mountain lion. The puma is a master of invisibility. Its body is built for silence, powerful hind legs, flexible joints, and a frame designed not for endurance, but for sudden, overwhelming force. Every movement is deliberate, every step measured against the forest floor. At night, its senses sharpen. Eyes adapted to low light scan the darkness with precision. Ears rotate independently, collecting fragments of sound carried by the wind. Even the faintest disturbance becomes information. Somewhere ahead, a guanaco grazes, unaware that the forest has already chosen its fate. The puma remains still, blending into the trees, its tawny coat dissolving into bark and shadow. Distance closes slowly, not through speed, but patience. Then in a single motion, the forest erupts. The puma launches forward, covering meters in an instant. There is no chase, no struggle that lasts long enough to echo. The attack is swift, controlled, and final. Silence returns almost immediately, as if the forest itself has exhaled. But the puma's world is shaped by more than hunting alone. As seasons shift and spring breathes life back into the mountains, new tensions emerge. Meadows bloom, rivers swell with melting snow, and with renewal comes competition. A female puma moves cautiously through her territory, leaving faint traces behind. Somewhere nearby, another presence detects them. A rival male follows, driven not by hunger, but instinct. Their encounter is sudden. Growls tear through the young forest. Claws scrape against earth and stone. The confrontation is brief, violent, and decisive. One retreats wounded, but alive. The other remains, his dominance established without celebration. Yet the most fragile moments come not from rivalry, but responsibility. Weeks later, hidden beneath fallen branches and thick undergrowth, the female gives birth. Small, vulnerable cubs enter a world that offers no protection. For them to survive, she must hunt, and she must do so without revealing their location. One evening, she approaches a riverbank, moving through dew-soaked grass. Nearby, a young bear cub wanders alone, separated from its mother. It stumbles clumsily near the water, unaware of the danger it faces. The puma freezes. This is opportunity and risk. As the current pulls at the cub, splashing echoes through the forest. The puma watches, calculating. Then, without warning, a deep roar cuts through the trees. The mother bear has returned. The puma steps back, never breaking eye contact. This hunt ends without contact, without conflict. Survival sometimes means retreat. The cub rejoins its mother, and together they vanish into the forest. For the puma, the night continues. She returns to her hidden den where fragile lives wait in silence. The forest ghost moves on unseen, carrying the weight of survival alone. In this world, strength is not always measured by what is taken, but by what is spared. At first light, silhouettes emerge through drifting dust and pale mist. A line of giants advances slowly across the open plains, each step resonating like a distant drum. This is not a charge. It is a journey, ancient, deliberate, and unbroken by time. Elephants are not built for haste. Their massive bodies are wrapped in thick, weathered skin, etched with deep folds that trap moisture and shield them from the relentless sun. Every wrinkle tells a story of endurance. Their wide ears fan outward, cooling blood coursing through powerful veins, while long trunks containing tens of thousands of muscles explore the world with unmatched precision. To an elephant, the savanna is not empty space. It is memory. Waterholes, feeding grounds, migration paths, all are carried within the collective knowledge of the herd. At the front walks the matriarch, her pace steady, her presence commanding. Others follow without question. Calves remain close, protected on all sides. Each day demands immense effort. An adult elephant consumes vast quantities of grass, leaves, and bark, traveling long distances in search of nourishment. When resources grow scarce, patience is tested. Even within the herd, tension can rise. Brief clashes erupt, powerful, unforgiving, until balance is restored and the group moves on. Survival allows no room for weakness. At the edge of a river, the herd slows. The scent of water draws them forward, but danger often hides where life gathers. As adults drink and cool themselves, calves linger near the shallows, learning the rhythms of a world that offers no guarantees. Without warning, the surface explodes. A crocodile lunges from the water jaws, closing around a young elephant. The moment is chaos, splashing dust, panicked cries. But it does not last. The mother reacts instantly. With thunderous force, she charges her massive frame, crashing forward. The crocodile releases and retreats wounded and overwhelmed. In seconds, the threat dissolves, leaving only rippling water behind. The lesson is clear. Here, no predator hunts alone against a united herd. As the elephants regroup, the calf presses close to its mother, shaken but alive. The journey continues, guided by instinct, older than the land itself. Yet the savanna offers no lasting peace. In tall grass nearby, another danger waits. A pride of lions watches from cover eyes fixed on the moving giants. They do not rush. They study. They calculate. An elephant is not ordinary prey. It is dangerous, unpredictable, and capable of devastating force. Minutes pass. Finally, they choose their target, a calf that has drifted too far from protection. At a silent signal, the pride spreads out, advancing from multiple directions using grass and shadow to close the distance. Then the charge. Dust rises. The calm fractures. The herd reacts instantly, but the confusion is enough. When the struggle ends, the lions retreat with their prize, retreating into the heat of the plains. The herd remains behind. There is no mourning ritual. No pause. Loss is acknowledged in silence, and the march resumes. In the wild, stopping means falling behind. As the elephants move onward, their path reshapes the land. Grass bends beneath their weight. New trails form, opening passage for smaller creatures that follow. Under the blazing sun, the giants continue across the savanna, guardians of memory, architects of the landscape bound together by loyalty stronger than fear. For them, survival is not a solitary act. It is a shared promise. On the open plains of East Africa, a figure rises above the horizon, slender, towering, unmistakable. The giraffe moves with quiet confidence, its long legs carrying it across the savanna in unhurried strides. From this height, the world looks different. Distant threats are easier to spot. Food is abundant in places no other grazer can reach. With a neck stretching more than 2 meters long, the giraffe feeds where competition fades. Leaves high in the acacia canopy disappear, with steady pulls of a long, flexible tongue. What appears effortless is the result of a body shaped by precise balance, strength, and fragility, coexisting in every step. But survival here is never passive. Behind the giraffe's calm presence lies constant vigilance. Large alert eyes scan the grass below. Ears flick at distant sounds. Even while feeding, awareness never fades. Height offers advantage, but it also makes escape complex. Danger often arrives without warning. Hidden among tall grass, a group of lions observes in silence. They do not rush. They wait. Patience defines their strategy, not strength alone. A full-grown giraffe is powerful and capable of deadly kicks. Attacking one is always a risk, so the lions watch for mistakes. The moment comes, not during movement, but necessity. Thirst draws the giraffes toward water. And here, the tall survivor becomes vulnerable. To drink, the giraffe must spread its front legs wide and lower its neck toward the ground. A position that compromises balance and limits vision. Every second matters. As one giraffe bends down, the grass stirs. The lions advance in coordinated silence, closing the distance step by step. Muscles tense, eyes lock. At a signal unseen, the calm breaks. The charge is sudden and relentless. Dust erupts as the giraffe bolts legs, driving forward in powerful strides. A kick lands with crushing force, sending one attacker back. But momentum favors the group. The lions press in, exploiting fatigue angles and numbers. The struggle is brief but intense. When it ends, the savanna grows still once more. The pride claims its reward, retreating into the grass to feed. Nearby, the remaining giraffes stand at a distance, watching motionless, silent. There is no rescue, there is no return. Life on the plains allows no pause for grief. Yet the story does not end in loss alone. Far from the hunt, new life begins. After a long pregnancy lasting over a year, a giraffe gives birth standing upright. The newborn falls more than 2 meters to the ground, a harsh arrival, but a necessary one. The impact triggers instinct. Within hours, the calf rises. Unsteady legs find balance. The first steps are awkward, but determination carries it forward. Running follows soon after. On the savanna, vulnerability is measured in moments, not days. This calf is the future, a continuation of a fragile advantage refined by evolution. Height will grant access. Awareness will grant survival. And every time it lowers its head to drink, it will risk everything. Because on the savanna, survival is not about dominance. It is about knowing when you stand tallest and when you are most exposed. When daylight fades and the forest exhales its final warmth, a different order takes shape. Sound softens. Colors drain away. Movement becomes suggestion rather than certainty. In this world of lowered light, survival favors those who can disappear. Among Europe's most secretive hunters moves a figure few ever see. The Iberian lynx steps through the undergrowth, as if carved from shadow. Its coat, patterned in muted earth tones, dissolves into leaf litter and broken light. Large, alert eyes reflect what little brightness remains, revealing a mind sharpened by caution rather than haste. This predator does not rely on power alone. Ears stand tall, rotating independently, capturing the faintest signs of life. A rustle, a breath, a subtle shift in grass. Information travels faster than sound. The lynx advances only when certainty replaces doubt. Ahead, a rabbit feeds unaware that distance has already collapsed. The lynx lowers its body movements, reduced to near stillness. Then, with sudden precision, it strikes clean, controlled and brief. The forest absorbs the moment without protest, but the hunt never ends. The lynx moves on, slipping once more into darkness, leaving no trace beyond absence. Far from the cool Mediterranean woods, night settles over a different land. The African savanna breathes heat even after sunset, and beneath a sky heavy with stars, another hunter awakens. The caracal. Sleek and agile, it moves across open ground with fluid confidence. Its reddish coat blends into dry grass and shadow, while long black ear tufts stand like silent antennae tuned to every disturbance. Medium in size, the caracal compensates with speed coordination and astonishing vertical reach. A group of ground birds feeds nearby, unaware that the night has chosen them. The caracal lowers its body muscles, tightening beneath smooth fur. It waits not for movement, but for separation. One bird drifts just far enough from the group. That is enough. With a powerful leap, the caracal launches upward, intercepting its target mid-motion. The action lasts seconds. Silence returns. The hunter stands still once more, scanning the darkness for threats unseen. Life continues beyond the hunt. When the breeding season arrives, the caracal follows instinct, guided by scent and sound rather than sight. Brief encounters replace lasting bonds. Afterward, the female retreats alone, seeking shelter where shadows gather thickest. Weeks later, fragile life emerges. Hidden in dense brush or hollowed ground, the kittens remain dependent, blind, and vulnerable. The mother hunts cautiously, never straying far. Each return brings survival, measured in small victories. As the young grow, play turns to practice. Eyes open, steps strengthen, instinct sharpens. The night becomes familiar rather than frightening. Whether in Europe's quiet forests or Africa's vast plains, these hunters rule not through dominance, but restraint. They do not claim territory loudly. They do not announce success. They endure. In the darkness, survival belongs to those who master stillness and move only when the moment is theirs. Across forests, rivers, and open plains, one truth remains unchanged. Survival does not belong to the loudest voice or the strongest display. It belongs to those who adapt to silence, to patience, to moments that pass unnoticed by the careless. Each predator we have followed moves by a different rule. Some wait beneath water that appears calm. Some vanish into shadow and re-emerge only when certainty replaces doubt. Others rely on numbers, memory, or unity rather than speed or strength. Yet none are immune to risk. Every hunt carries uncertainty. Every victory demands energy. Every mistake reshapes the future. In the wild, nothing is guaranteed, not dominance, not safety, not even survival itself. What binds these stories together is not violence, but balance. Predators and prey exist in a cycle older than language. One does not thrive without the other. Each encounter leaves an imprint on the land, shaping movement, behavior, and life yet to come. Silence is not emptiness. It is information. Stillness is not weakness. It is control. And in a world governed by instinct, restraint often proves more powerful than force. As night falls once more and the landscapes fade into shadow, life continues beyond what we can see. Paths cross and separate. Stories unfold without witnesses. The wild remains indifferent to observers, moving forward on its own terms. If these moments of hidden life stir your curiosity, there is always more waiting beyond the edge of the frame. The natural world is vast. Its stories are endless, and many remain unseen. Thank you for traveling through these silent battles and fragile victories. Wherever you are, may you carry a deeper respect for the balance that keeps the wild alive. Until next time, when the journey continues.